afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man, and with me this afternoon, I have oh, I'd have to say one of the most competitive people I've ever come across. He goes by the name of Randy Butler Senior. Randy, what's going on, my brother?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much, man. Just getting off of work, in this hot heat. Had to make sure I made it home in time for you. You know, my man, Mike.
Absolutely, folks. For those of you who do not know, my first encounter with Mr. Randy Butler is we have this league out here in South Dallas called the BBA, which is the Burgo Basketball Association. And Steve Burgo, who is the CEO, would we had it in his backyard at the beginning for 10 years. And we transported it into a new complex, which is beautiful, by the way. And we had open division. And I first encountered Mr. Randy Butler with a team from Newport, uh, all talented individuals, and me being a referee, and of course them being players. We had some things. We had some things, but all I can tell you guys, Randy was one of the most competitive people I can honestly think about. And I'm gonna give you guys one. He's about 6 foot, 6'1" maybe. And I remember uh, I made a call. He got mad at me, which was oftentimes. And I remember grabbing the ball one time and whacked it two hands. And I said, "What?" I said, "Oh my God." Anyway, incredible. And he's a great football player, great athlete. And before I go any further and let you talk about, because I don't like to talk too much because I talk smack. But before I go any further, Randy, I never thought because later on I went and refereed somewhere. I think it was in Mansfield or whatever, and I saw Randy coaching his kids, and I'm like, I didn't know he was like that because I thought Randy was, what I'm saying, totally different. On the court, he's like Rodman, he's like Ron Artest, but off the court, he's just dynamite. And I got to see all the things he's done in Newport, Rhode Island, with the AAU and the Butler Club. And I am so impressed with what you're doing. You're doing some amazing things. And you just gave me a different perception. And now I know how you are and what you stand for and how much you care about the kids and Newport and vice versa. And also, folks, he received one of the most prestigious awards at half court at the TD Garden from the Boston Celtics for his achievements with the AAU and Butler Club, amongst I guess thousands of nominees,
Yeah.
maybe well deserving recipients, and he got it. So anyway, now that I open my big mouth, Randy, I'm glad that you came on my show. I truly appreciate it. But I want you to tell the folks your grind, because I'm giving you your flowers, your roses. So let the folks know how it all began. Beginning maybe in high school, junior high. Let them know a little bit about you.
I appreciate it, Mike. I appreciate it. And yeah, you're right. We had some battles, but it was all
Oh,
love.
yes, you
It's all love, man. I try to tell the kids that
did.
now. And so, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't have that competitive edge, honestly.
Hmm.
So yeah, I actually started playing basketball at a young age. Um Probably fourth grade, honestly. I played all three sports, honestly. Basketball wasn't even my number one sport, truthfully. It was football and then baseball and then basketball. Um I went to middle school out here. I went to the Boys and Girls Club, probably like everyone else my age or even older. Boys and Girls Club, like I said, that's not saved my life, but honestly, I grew up at the times, the 80s, 90s. You guys, everyone knows that's when the drugs really started taking over big
Hmm.
time. But the Boys and Girls Club was a home to me. A single mom. She was always at work. I had two sisters that were younger than me. So I just, it was school, Boys and Girls Club, home. School, Boys and Girls Club, home. Summertime, we go to the Boys and Girls Club for camps and stuff like that, summer leagues. Um, and then I would go into football, and then my football experience was funny because I had my uncle as my coach, so that was rough. That was rough. But back to basketball, man. It was just at that time actually down here. It was a lot of basketball teams. It's not like how it is now. It's not at all like how it is. Like we'd be outside playing basketball all day till the lights came on.
Mm.
Once it came on, you had to boogie your butt home, or that excuse you were gonna get a butt whipping. You know how that goes. Um, it's different now though. Kids are not doing that, not at all. Um, I go on middle school. I leave my middle school scoring in eighth grade. I averaged like 38 points in middle school right away. Went to Rogers. I ended up going to Rogers freshman year. We went to states. We were tough. We actually were like, I think like 24-1. We lost to a local team, Portsmouth, right up the road, and we shouldn't even have lost that game. Then that's when after that summer, we had Rogers Summer League. Then I go to Five Star. A lot of these kids don't know about Five Star.
Nope.
Five Star is where I really took off at. I first year there, I made the All Star team in the NCAA division, which I was happy about. Just making the All Star team. I didn't even care what division it was because I never been to that type of atmosphere to be away from my mom, playing in front of so many different coaches from different high schools, so many players from everywhere. And if you guys don't know what Five Star is like AAU now. All the kids in just one gym for the summer, all outdoor courts. Actually, the first year I went there, I had like Dana Dingo from UMass, Dante Bright, Felipe Lopez out of New York City. AI was supposed to be there. So I went to a good weekend. My high school coach, Jim Saris, which a lot of New Bedford people know, Jim Saris, he had all the connections down there. So I'd actually go down there with him, a couple of our other kids from my team, and we would just go down there with him for Five Star for the summer. Um, like I said, freshman year, I made the All Star team. I came back. After that, I didn't want to play no more sports. I strictly went basketball. That's what I did. I went strictly basketball. I gave up football. I gave up baseball. A sophomore year, I come in, start varsity as a sophomore. Um, we had an up and down year, but we ended up winning the states, which was really good. Very good Christmas tournaments against a lot of the guys from New Bedford. That was actually one of the best, honestly, the best Christmas tournaments ever was down here at the Christmas tournament at Rogers, man. Love playing against New Bedfords, the Durfees, the Hill Houses. Those are all heavy hitters. You think about it. Hill House is Connecticut. It was Connecticut #1 at the time. New Bedford's the #1 team in Massachusetts. We ended up being the #1 team in Rhode Island. So it's like all heavy hitters. Our coach actually set us up for successful at the end of the year instead of the beginning of the year. He had us playing against all these tough teams. We'd probably lose a lot my sophomore year. We would lose a couple of actually probably more than half of the games. But what it did was that competition from those out of state teams got us prepared for Rhode Island talent games, which to me, actually was easier than playing against New Bedford, playing against Durfee, playing against Hill House, playing against actually my sophomore year, we played against a lot of people are not gonna know that. Tolatine out of New York City the year before was the #1 team in the nation with Adrian Autry. They came
Oh,
down and smacked us. That's right. Yeah, that's going back. Like a lot of people don't in high school don't get those unless you're like in a prep school now or something like that. You're playing against teams like that. Um, they came down and smacked us, but like I said, it helped us at the end. We ended up winning the state championship. No one even thought we were going to win the championship, honestly. Go there, go back to Five Star, move up to the NBA division, make the All Star. There it goes again, Five Star again. So boom, come back. My junior year, it's probably my best high school year, honestly, ever. And we ended up losing the state championship, honestly. The most athletic team, the best team that my coach ever had. And I tell people that from Rogers now. They would never see a team that we had. We had so much talent on that team. And I don't to this day I don't know how we lost, truthfully. And then we lost in the semis, and then that made me more hungry that for the next summer. So no Five Star. I just worked out, did what I had to do. Then I just wanted that state championship. That would be my third championship in a row. But to add to that, my senior year is the key. Mike, a lot of people don't know this. Only people around here. Marvin never played until my senior year. God rest his soul. Marvin never played till my senior year. If he would have played, I would have won it 4 out of 4 years easily, hands down, no questions. We would have won it 4 out of 4 years. But Marvin first played, and my coach never knew who he was. I knew who he was because that was my best friend. He played, and he was, man. You saw how talented Marvin was. He was crazy talented back then. I would have scored 1,000, honestly, if he played all 4 years. No way I would have scored 1,000. It wouldn't have been need to.
You know, Randy, I want to interrupt you because folks don't know about Marvin. You know, I got to know him, refereeing at the BBA, and we could tell how close you were. And Marvin was just a great athlete, down to earth, could play. And unfortunately, he passed away. Is there anything you want to say about your boy Marvin?
Man, I miss him. I can tell you that for damn sure, man. It's just been, excuse my language, been crazy since that happened, man.
Come on, man, it's my show. You can say whatever you want.
It's been crazy, man, since he died. It's not the same for me. It's not the same for Mike Plant. If you can remember, we're all and Jameer, we were all best friends, man, for years, man. So it's different. Like Marvin was very talented, man. Very
Yes.
talented. He came up here from South Carolina. No one knew who he was. I only knew he was country time. That's what we called him, country time. He was country strong, athletic, ran his mouth just as much as I ran my mouth, probably even more, honestly. He didn't run that, he didn't run it that much at BBA, but mouth, man, I'm telling you, like you'd be very surprised. And just a wonderful guy, man. He he
Yes.
he he just he would take off his shirt on his back for anyone, man. He was just one of a kind. If people know him, they know that I'm speaking the truth on Marv, man. It's just it's a tough loss, man. It's just tough. It's very tough for me, man. I go through it daily, but I know I got to keep going on for my basketball program for him because he helped me start that program. So you know, it is what it is. Now back to the senior year, he plays. Coach don't know who he is. I'm like, Coach, wait till you see this guy. He sees him in tryouts. He's like, Whoa, where's he been at? I was like, he can't play, couldn't play, man. His mom wouldn't let him play. He had one D and his mom wouldn't let him play. That's
Wow.
it. One D. She wouldn't let him play. And he played his senior year. We went through everyone. We went through anyway. I think we only lost like 5 games our senior year. It's crazy. We lost to St. Anthony's after New Bedford played them. New Bedford played them on a Saturday night. We played them on a Sunday night. Um, we lost to them by 10 points. We lost to them by 10 points, man. And I remember after that game, and in the paper, still to this day, Bobby Hurley saying how good of a team we was, and that we could easily play in New Jersey, honestly. And we actually got ranked after that game, even after the loss. We got ranked after that game. We lost to New Bedford in a Christmas tournament by 1 point, which was a very talented group. All 3 years. I lost to New Bedford all 3 years in a Christmas tournament. Championship too. Championship games. Championship games. And I can't even go up there in BBA and get a championship. I lost up there too. So New Bedford, New Bedford was a pain in my ass. You know what I'm saying? On the court. But you know what? I respect everyone that came out of there, man. People ahead of me, people that same time as me, behind me. Bedford has a lot of basketball out of there too. We ended up winning the states, and then after that, go to college. Then Marvin goes to the military. We come back after a couple years. We start coaching down here a little bit, and we had like a housing league. And then we do our thing for years and such and such such. And then fast forward to about 2016, I start Butler basketball just to get these kids off of Queen Island to be playing basketball outside of Queen Island. There was no AAU teams. And the only reason why I did that is because when my sons did it years before, I always had to travel to take them to practices, take them to games. So I was like, you know what? Let's see if I can get this started, get some gyms and get Butler basketball started down here. And once I went to a couple spots, they were like, yeah, of course you can do it. So started Butler basketball 2016, and we've been going strong since, very strong. And we're going to continue going. I'm not going to stop with this. And now I got my sons coaching, so it's going to go on past me, hopefully.
Now, Randy, let people know how difficult it is to get a program like that started.
It's honestly, it's the way we did it the correct way. Some people don't do it the correct way. We did it the correct way,
Mm.
honestly. And I got to give a props to my main man, Kevin Hagan, which is my lawyer, I went to him and I told him that I wanted to start this. I put his idea in his head and he was like, you know what? Come to my office. Came to his office 2 days later. He had another guy with him. Boom, 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 boom. We did our thing. Butler basketball was started. But there's a lot of hurdles you got to go through, man. People don't realize that, like insurance, where the money's coming from, if you're traveling, type of fundraisers. And when you get started, no one knows you, so no one wants to really give to you until you
Exactly.
establish. I didn't get
Mm-hmm.
at first, but once I got established, I started doing summer leagues and stuff like that. Like now, it's just I can go to anyone and they'd be like, "Yup, yup, 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 yup." But getting started, it's tough. You gotta have a little thick skin for the nose. You're gonna get some yeses, you're gonna get some no's, but after they see you get started, man, then they're gonna stop believing in you. But it takes a minute. It does take a minute for you to get off the ground. And then we're not one of those. We're
Get
not one of those.
teachers to help you out.
So we're not one of those AAUs that are like sneaker affiliated. No, because that's a different story. People get that twisted. It's different. When you have a sneaker AAU, they have different type of expectations than what I have. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like they have to have elite kids, elite to keep their sponsorship. I'm not. I don't. Honestly, I didn't. I never wanted a sponsorship. If it came to me, I can. It'll come to me. I have got some lately, some hits, but it was something I'd have to look into, but I'm more focused on these kids just playing, getting out of getting off of Queen Island, seeing other kids in like Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, now Florida. I got kids seeing kids in Florida, Pennsylvania, because honestly, down here, a lot of not just the kids, the parents don't realize how much talent is out there. There's a lot of talent out there and the kids need to see that. And honestly, this past weekend after we came back from Florida, actually while we were down in Florida, I talked to a lot of the parents, and it was like they said, it was an eye opener for them. It was a big eye opener for them, and I told them that because I've been in the AAU traveling with my youngest son, and I saw it in Texas, Georgia, Ohio, Michigan, traveling. But for my kids, honestly, I want them to at least make their middle school team, then make their high school team, and then whatever after that, do what you do. If you go further than that, that's on you. My job is to get you to play middle school, high school, graduate. That's all. That's my job right there. I want everyone to graduate, and we actually look at report cards and stuff like that, and we do discipline, and we also do a lot of community service. Most AAUs just know. I'll be surprised to see any AAUs that do as much community service as we do.
I doubt it. I doubt it for real. Now let me ask you one more question. Now, you talk about you know checking in on the kids and all that. What do you think about someone who wants to join the Butler basketball club? What are they going to expect, or what do the parents, if they send them to the Butler club, what do they expect for the kids to have and what they're going to go through?
Well, hopefully they're gonna develop. Most of the time they're gonna develop. It depends. Honestly, it also depends on who the coaches are. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. You know me. I'm a tough coach. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a yeller. I'm trying to calm it down, change it. But some things are hard to change, man. But I want to get the best out of that kid. I'm not gonna sit there and I don't want parents to bring their kids to me and then they're over there babying their kids. You know what I'm saying? They're still spoon feeding their kids. No, I want to try to get what I can out of these kids. And hopefully my other coaches can get a lot out of these kids. We're also teaching these kids discipline. We do plays in our AAU Butler basketball. A lot of our teams do plays and stuff like that. You're gonna learn, especially at the young age. You're gonna learn before you get to that middle school level. If you can learn how to play man to man, if you can learn the X's and some of the X's and O's, no cutting without the ball, no different things before you get to the middle school, you're ahead of the curve. If you can't get that, then you're gonna be behind the curve. But a lot of development and then you know a lot of positive role models for sure and a program that loves you with family That's how we treat all our kids. We're family, no matter what, no matter where you come from. And to tell you the truth, I got kids from New Bedford in here. I got kids from New Bedford in my program, and they love it. They love it.
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Yep.
You know, how many? Let the viewers know, like how many teams are in your club and how many divisions, and can you break it down for me? I mean, as best as you can.
Yeah. So this spring we had I want to say what, 7 AAU teams at different age groups. We had a girl group. Um, Couple of them are like brand new to basketball, so they're on that stage where you got to develop them. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to develop kids quicker in AAU because you're only practicing twice a week. It's
Right,
not like in middle school you practice every single day.
right.
So you got to develop them. They're young. I got two young squads that male teams, fourth and fifth. No, yeah, fourth and fifth, which I love. They're gonna, if they can develop, stick together, they're gonna be a problem in future years. I can tell you that right now. And that's what we want. Like I tell the parents at that group, it's not about wins or losses at that age, not at all. It's about them learning basketball, learning the fundamentals, developing all that stuff. It's not about the wins or losses. You have no wins this year. I'm proud of you, no matter what. If you work hard, I'm proud. Next year, now you're gonna have a goal. You want to win at least 2 games. That's a goal. You're progressing, and then it takes years to get. Like I got an eighth and a ninth grade team that I coach with my sons. They help me out. Just in case I get, in between 2 games where I've had these two teams since like fifth grade. So now I have for years after years after years. Now they have developed to like, honestly, I could probably go out there and they let the game start and they can continue going on. Eighth and the 19th could go on with me just sitting on the bench because they done did it for so many years and they know what I expect out of them. Now the younger groups, they're not going to have that yet. It's going to take years. And I told the
Right.
coach that it's not going to happen overnight. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Some of these, I hate to say it, some of these parents think it's a sprint. It's a marathon.
Hmm.
It's a marathon. And they don't want to let these kids face adversity. They have to. You gotta learn to lose before you win.
That is true. Now I'm gonna hit you with a hot one right now, because you know I've been refereeing since 1857, and you see a lot of parents coach their kids until their kids are too old to play in that specific division, and then they bounce. Whereas you have some coaches who are there long term. Like for example, Boys Club, you got Robbie Mendes, who you know, and Tony Estelle, for an example. You know they're there for all the kids, not just there for their kids. Now in your program, do you do your coaches coach just their kids, or do they coach kids?
Nope. Everyone coaches kids. Everyone coaches kids. I coach my kids on both of my teams. I got a kid on both teams. But to me, I try to tell people you got to be harder on your kids than the other kids because if they see that, they know that you could be hard on them. If you let your kids off, how is that setting an example for the other kids around?
Exactly.
You can't. It won't work. And then you coach them to a certain age and then let them go. And that's exactly what I would do. I'll let them go.
You know, I saw you a couple. I've been trying to get you on my show for a while, as you know. I've seen all the things you do in the community. I've seen your trucks, the vans, and I've seen all the stuff that you give away and all the. Can you let the viewers know about that aspect of it?
That community service, man. Actually, we actually love doing community service, man, and we're hoping that we're teaching the kids that to give back, and when they get a little older, they're gonna realize, oh, we used to do this with Butler basketball. Why don't we do this now? Like it's helping families, it's helping the community. The community likes it, and honestly, I love doing it. Honestly, I really do. I think it's right, and especially at a time right now, man. It's like times are tough, man. Times are tough right now, tough, and like honestly, we got a community service coming up next Friday. Start next Friday, actually. We are. It hasn't been out yet, but we are actually working the PGA Senior Tour, Butler basketball kids. We're working that tour. Yes, we are working that down here in Newport.
Wow. Wow. That's for not. Hey, I tell you, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit. Can you tell the viewers about the award you received at TD Garden?
Yeah, I got voted youth coach of the year for the Boston Celtics. I think it's 2019. Um, I got voted over. I don't know exactly how many, but it was thousands of coaches and everything just for
Hmm?
what we did um with my organization, all the community service we did, um all the stuff that I have done in my background. There's so much stuff that I can't even say it all, but we did a lot. And then the team I actually had that year, it was a girls team, honestly, and that girls team was really really good. Like they all graduated now. It's my first AAU team actually. It was a girls team, and they're all every single one of them in college. There's one girl now that walked. She plays on the North Carolina State walked on, which is pretty good. I like that. All the other girls stopped playing, but it is what it is. You know, girls usually tire out before guys, but I'm very proud of them. They set the example for Butler basketball, and I always remind all the kids that that first group means that much to me. They're very special, and they set the tone. And it's funny because now my youngest son, he's going after them. He's going after them, especially with the champs. Actually, I think he caught him. I think he actually caught him. But it's just, community service. And then I got to go up there. I got to meet Jason Tatum. I got to meet Brad Stevens. We chopped it up for about 10 minutes upstairs in his office at that time he was coaching. We talked a little about AAU, which was funny. And we actually talked about when he played in AAU. A lot of people don't know that against I think they were BABC. Yeah, the BABC team with Scooney Penn and all them.
Okay. Okay.
He played against them. Yes, if you look it up, I think it was in the national championship. And they lost. I think that, and I tell people to this day, I don't care what anyone says, that BABC team is the best AAU team ever in Massachusetts, hands down. There's not a better AAU team better than that team. It was loaded, Mike, loaded. I don't know if you remember that team. It was loaded.
I probably do.
That was Scooney. Just to give you a quick glimpse, a couple of them. Scooney, Marcus Wills, Wayne Turner, Randall Jackson, the
Oh.
the Curly brothers, Chris Herron, and God bless his soul, Jamal Jackson.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh, they were loaded. They
Oh,
were loaded.
yes. Ooh. Wow. Wow. Damn.
Yes. So Pat Stevens talked about that, and we just talked about the girls, and then after that, we got to watch the game. The girls got to watch the games from the suite. They loved it. I'm pretty sure it'll be a memory forever for them. It'll be one for me too.
Absolutely. Now, man, I'm gonna hit you another one because you know how I am. Now, you've been doing so many great things with AAU and the Butler Club. I want you, if you could, let the viewers know the positives as well as the negatives of running an AAU club, team, etc. And you are not just doing local; you're all over the damn country. So I want you, if you could, let the viewers know about the positives as well as the negatives.
All right, the positives is you're actually the positives I think is we're helping kids out. We're helping kids play a sport that they like. They're having fun. Um, and like I said, we're like a family in my AAU. Like we all stay in the same hotel when we went to Florida. There's a, and there was another hotel that we had because they didn't have enough rooms. But we go on the trip. We go down there. A couple of our teams lose. We all end up losing. No one wins a championship. But the positive of it is you're in the same place. Everyone's hopefully has the same goal. I think everyone smiles. We had a cookout after. Um, You're building relationships. The kids are building relationships with other kids. The parents are building relationships with other parents. People that they never knew, some that they didn't know. Um, and I think that's a positive. And the playing against more talented kids for the kids is a positive. The negatives is, and it's going to take one word. That's it. Parents. That's all it takes. Parents. Parents are actually ruining it for their kids, and a lot of parents I'm starting to see now are going after referees. So parents are ruining the game. Honestly, I really do believe. I hate to say it, but it's just some think that kids are better than what they are, or they think they deserve more playing time. When that's why I think you take them to get a reality check. I think that could be a positive. You take them to get a reality check. Like I said, it's but the way that they're interfering with the game, the kids never gonna learn adversity. That's what it is. They got to face adversity. If the kid's not playing and he's not one of the top kids on that team, don't sit there and whine about it, talk about it. Take him from a game earlier. Don't show up to a practice or don't show up to a game just because he's not playing. No, make him go out there and fight. Make him fight for a position. I tell the kids all the time, like, I don't care if this kid's a starting point. Go in there and try to take the job from him. Go in there and take the job from him. What are you going to teach the kid when he gets a job in real life? Oh, you got that your manager's not giving you Thursday off. Just don't even show up to work. No, you're gonna get fired. You're gonna get fired. So it's about letting these kids face adversity. Let them face it, and then they're not on probably social media a lot, but they need to be. They need to be watching all these coaches what they're saying about these kids getting recruited. It's huge. It's huge.
Now, let me ask you that. Now, I don't know. I know exactly the age groups you have, but has the NIL have had any influence on the kids you coach?
No, nope, nope. NIL's pretty tough, man. NIL actually they're only going after high school kids right now. Anyway, they're really going after high school kids. Some kids, young kids, might get like some type of like sponsorship, but not NIL deal. But from what I was told was NIL is going to be coming down soon to younger kids, very soon to younger kids, which is going to change the game. It's changing in college. Think about it. It's going to change it in high school. It's going to change in high school. So NIL is mainly high school right now, but not my program. I don't got no one like that. And then what happens is, and if I had someone in my program like that, most likely they would probably leave.
That's why I noticed that, a lot of these coaches just don't want to deal with the NIL and all that. And then you got people like, our boy, Dave Later, who is with the Overtime Elite. And, you see different things. And, sometimes I wonder, I mean, obviously, you want to see players get paid. You want to see them get compensated because for years they didn't get compensated, and thanks to Ed O'Bannon, players are now getting what they deserve. So I have no problem with that. But let me ask you something real quick, Randy. I've asked you a lot of questions, but maybe I didn't ask you something that you wanted to express to the viewers, or something that, hey, man, Mike didn't ask me. I wanted to talk about this and Mike didn't hit me up. Is there anything that I didn't bring up that you want to convey to the youth that might be able to make an impact on them? Because, Randy, I know you don't know too much about my show, but I love to have people come on and make an impact.
Your mic just went out. What'd you just say at the end, Mike? What'd you say at the end, Mike? Your mic went out.
You know, again, unfortunately, technical difficulties here. But anyway, what I was saying was, I like people to have, when they come on my show, to have an impact. It's just something I did.
Every time I do my show, somebody calls. I just thought it's just my I guess I'm a popular guy. So anyway, when is there something that maybe I didn't ask you that you want to convey to the viewers?
Um, Honestly, Mike, probably nah, man. You're hitting everything on the head. Everything you're asking, I think is pretty good. What I will say is, the kids, and it's not just basketball, any sport. If they're playing a sport, that's actually gonna help them long run in life, adversity. Make sure they're having fun at the same time, but just let them do the thing. Let them learn. Let them learn. It's like going to school. Like it's like
Okay,
going.
well, I'm gonna hit you with another one. Okay, I'm a parent. I got a 9 or 10 year old son, and I'm sending him to the Butler Club. And I don't feel my son's getting enough playing time. And I paid all this money. And Randy, man, what's up? What's up with my son? How do you handle that? That's very important, especially with all these leagues coming up. Leagues I'm involved with. That poses a problem. I want to know how you handle
All right. Well, this is easy for me, Mike. This is
that.
easy for me.
I know,
This is
I
easy for
know
me.
how you handle. I want you to let them know.
This is well. What we do, we have our tryouts, and then we have a big introduction to our AAU in an email, which addresses that. Do not come to us about playing time. AAU isn't recreational. It isn't just summer ball. It's about earning your playing time. We set the tone right away. That's how you do it. You set it with that. And then if it comes during the season, we tell them, go back and read what we sent to you guys. Go back and read what we sent to you. But I also try to get my coaches to talk right before, at their first AAU practice, and tell them it's all about earned playing time. Playing time is not guaranteed. And if you think it is, and you think your kid is that good, no matter what, then you're in the wrong organization. You got to set the tone right away. You got to set the tone right away. If you don't set the tone right away, then you're going to have problems.
Yeah, man, a lot of these parents are living their life for their kids. The parents probably had no game, and how it is, man. So that's why I have so much respect for the AU coaches and what they do. They put all the time and effort, and then you got these wacko parents who think their kids are going to be Division 1, and as you know, 0.1% even make it to the NBA. And sometimes you got to get hit with reality. You know what I mean? But it's great that what you do, and you made it very specific. When I saw you on B Mag show, you made it specific. Newport. You wanted that representative Newport. And while we got a few minutes left, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. You know what I mean? Who
Go
was
ahead.
the best player you played against, and who was the best player you played with? I'm gonna hit you now, bro. Now I got you.
Ooh, ooh, that's a great one. Who the best player I played against?
We can go high school, we can go college. Hey, y'all, Rhode Island, y'all got so many players, so I don't know who y'all gonna
I
have.
would
No
say
idea what you gonna say.
I would say high school would be Curtis McCants out of Pawtucket, and this kid Randy Smith out of Mount Pleasant. College, it would probably be oh, hold on, I go back to high school too. Jaleel Roberts and Rashad McLeod too. That Rashad McLeod that went to Duke in the NBA. College would probably be like Dante Bright, Dana Dingle. Yep, easily.
Okay, now who do you? Because I asked it on all when I get all my basketball guests. Who do you think could have had the best potential but never reached it for whatever reasons?
The best potential? You said the best potential?
But never reached it for whatever reasons.
Ooh. that could be a lot of people, man.
I gotta get you
A
out, my
lot of
brother.
people.
I don't know when I'm gonna have you on again. I gotta get you where I can.
I always will come on, man. I always come on. And what's it's just a matter of picking the time. But, ooh, truthfully, I'm saying myself
Why you say that?
because I feel I was definitely talented, definitely to play Division 1 and everything. I just, I just
I can attest to that. I can attest to that. So what
I
do you think went wrong?
honestly, I when I went to school, I didn't really care about school after basketball. Honestly, I didn't really care about. I wasn't really even going to go to college until my junior year. It was if it wasn't for my guidance counselor in high school, I wouldn't have went to college. Honestly, I was just going to work. I can say that. And then secondly, there's probably so many people that I played against what's called. And then the second one I would say is one of my sons. My son was actually the same way, and he was more talented than me and taller.
Wow.
Yep,
How tough are you on your son?
I'm very tough, very tough. Um,
I can believe
sometimes,
that.
sometimes, sometimes people tell me to back up. Um, and then sometimes I do have to back up, and then sometimes I come home and be like, "Damn, I was real tough on him." But the reason why I was tough on him because, like I said, I felt I should have made it at least somewhere. And then my younger son, I thought was definitely gonna make it. So I feel like I can't make the same mistake with my two younger sons, one that's in high school and one that's in middle school right
Yeah.
now. So I can't make that mistake no more because there's no more chances after these two.
Now, Randy, where do you see the Butler Club in 5 years? What is going to be your mission for future? Because I know luckily my show's doing pretty well and we get quite a few viewers on. So I want them to know what you're doing and you know, where do you see yourself? I mean, you're already doing fantastic already. You then got the damn award at the Boston Garden Celtics. But where do you see yourself in? Where do you want this to go? What is your vision? What do you want where do you want this to go?
My vision for this, we're gonna continue going on Butler basketball. Even if I'm not coaching, I actually will still be overseeing everything. I can't just give this up, especially for this community, and not just this community. Like I said, I got people from New Bedford, I got people from Providence, I got people from East Providence, I got people from Cranston. I even had kids from Taunton come all the way down to play for me, which is a test right there to tell you. Um, I just I want to continue going on. Maybe I'm gonna start building up more teams. I actually in the works right now of a building behind scenes. Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes. We're just gonna pop out one day. It's just gonna pop out. Um, and then having the kids hopefully play basketball, and then some of these kids, make it to college, and if someone makes it to the NBA, that's even better. But like I said,
and what you do is so fantastic because we from the hood, and a lot of kids don't have no dreams because of the environment and programs that you do, and the BBA and all these other programs are there for the kids to have them see a different direction and have see people of color doing some positive things as positive role models, which you definitely are. And it's a tribute to you and what you're doing. And I don't know what else to say, man. You caught me off guard. I didn't know you was gonna be the way that you are. And again, I have to apologize to you, man. And you are
yeah,
doing so many
I
great
apologize
things
to me,
in
Mike.
your community, man. And you have the community support. And best believe y'all, if you have the community support, it makes things a lot easier. And they have the trust in you. And it means the world to the kids as well as the parents, as well as to the coaches and the people who do what they do. And it takes a very special person to do what you do. And I applaud you for that. Now I want you to let the folks know how they can get in touch with you if they want to contribute to the Butler Club. Anything that you want them to know about the Butler Club and how they can support you and in any way, shape, or form, let them know.
Yeah, you can we're on Instagram, Butler Basketball Club. Our Facebook's Butler Basketball Club. Um, you can also go to butlerbasketballclub.com. We also got an email, butlers with a S, AAU at gmail.com. You can reach us there. All our information's everywhere. You can find us online. A lot of people they just just call. I ain't giving out my phone number, but a lot of people just call me or whatever. Like I said, just go in the inbox. You want your kids to try out. You want to just if you got any questions, anything you want to donate, just go to any of those sites. Like I said, we love, and then like people don't realize we run off of donations, fundraisers, stuff like that. That's huge. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't realize that.
And you know, Randy, this is going to be seen all over. So, if anybody want to give a shout out to,
Um, I give a shout out to my family, to you, Mike. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to Mr. B, man, because I got him on the
yeah,
last
you
one.
better, man. You
Yeah, I gotta
better.
give a shout to Mr. B because I got him, man. He's still. I said a comment, and I think maybe someone took it wrong. I said Mr. B. He got me in the league. It was a funny. It was a joke, meaning he set my team up, man. He set my team up to losing the championship against his team. So I said he always he got me. He got me. He had me playing with the midgets. I love you, Tion, but it was just me and Tion, and we lost. So, Mr. B, gotta give that shout out, man. I give
He'll
a
be
shout out
watching
to
this. You
Stephen.
know, he'll be watching this. Um,
I'll give a
but
shout out.
again, Randy, I want to thank you for coming on. Took time on your day to come here and do my show. I hit you up last minute, and matter of fact, I think it was on your way to Florida. You got back. You're doing so many great things, and just let it be known that anytime you got something going on, you want to come on here, you got an open invitation, my brother. And if there's anything I can do, hit me up. I got you. I love you, my brother. I love what you're doing. You know, I need some people who are younger than, I'm always there. But people like yourselves who are young and doing so many positive things, that's a great thing for the kids to see. Instead of us old people, you got people such as yourselves who are doing a great thing. And I'm very appreciative of what you and so many other people do. And, they don't get enough recognition. But guess what? I'm giving you your recognition because that's how I roll.
Thank-
Anything else you got to say before we bounce? My
Thanks,
brother?
Mike. Nah, man, I appreciate you too, Mike, man. Even though we had our battles, but like I said, it was fun battles, man. And
Oh,
I
it
was
was
just
fun. It was interesting. All I know
talking to
is that
Mike last night
you
about
are
it.
one of the most competitive people I've ever seen, and you came with it. You played every play hard. I mean, you got to respect that. You might disagree with my call, but you know something, you play hard. And you know something, the difference is me being a referee. You knew the game. Some people don't really know the game. They argue and complain. You knew the game. It makes a difference, my brother. It makes a difference. That's all I'm saying. But anyway,
Listen,
my brother, I want to thank you for coming on my show. It's been a great blast, and you're welcome to come on my show anytime. Hit your boy up. I got you anytime, any place. You do something with the Butler Club, just let me know, my brother. I got you.
all right,
100%, my brother. Thank you so
all right.
much from the bottom of my heart, my brother.
Thank
This
you,
show
Mike.
is going to be one of them. I'm telling you right now. It's going to
All
be viewed by quite a few people because you're dealing with the youth and the positivity. So I want to thank you and give you your props, my brother. Thank you for
thank
coming on
you,
my
man.
show.
You too,
God
Mike.
bless. And is there anything I can do for you, man? Hit your boy up.
All right, I got you, Mike.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Sports coming to Conn Man on the Sports Wave Network. I have my great guest, Randy Butler Sr., my boy. Take care. God bless y'all.
All right,
Peace.
see you guys later.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Wave Network and the Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. And with me this afternoon, I have with me a very special guest, someone who I've been trying to get for a long time. She didn't know me from a hole in the wall, but I'm blessed that she took the time to come on my show today. And she goes by the name of Kim Tabar. Kim, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
A little tired. Just did two shows, so I'm a little tired. But I'm glad to have you on the show. I was glancing through Facebook maybe I don't know about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and you had a big hit song as then. You are multi-talented. I've been watching you and following you, and I've been trying to get you on this show, but you're so busy. And again, I want to have you on the show. You just have a great personality, and the way that you conduct yourself is just inspiring as well. Can we do this? Can you let the viewers who probably have no idea about you, but they will after this show, let them know, how it all transpired, the beginning, and what got you interested in singing and entertaining, and let the viewers know.
Okay. So, can you hear me okay?
I hear you fantastic.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I have, it's like 90 something degrees, so I have the AC, all that. So, my name is, I go by the stage name of Kim Tavar. My born name is Kim Tavares.
Right.
Born in Boston, raised in Duxbury, Massachusetts, also in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I went back and forth. Always loved music since I was younger, listening to albums, and I don't mind, dating myself or showing my age because back then that's when it was real music.
Exactly. Hmm.
My older brothers and sisters, I remember being about 5 years old and listening to um, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the OJs, of course, Motown, um, Stevie Wonder, the Jackson Five. But, very eclectic as far as, growing up in Duxbury. It was like my family is Cape Verdean, and, my grandparents came here like in the like 1900, like 1915 and 1920. So we were in Duxbury like the only, black family that was there. So for me, going to school with, predominantly, you know, Caucasian or white, I
Right.
grew up also listening to and appreciating classic rock like the Eagles. Um, oh my goodness, who else is it? The Eagles, um, John Ford Coley, and what is it? Dan England and John Ford Coley, the Carpenters, uh,
Okay.
just so many things that evolve in music. And listening to those albums, I would appreciate the artwork on the album. Back then you had the whole album. I remember Stevie Wonder's album. Maybe it was Songs in the Key of Life, but one of them had a book. Even Earth, Wind, and Fire. You would open it. You would have the lyrics in there. You would see who the writers were, and that was important to me. Uh, Also, back then we had uh, bands, like not just groups, but the bands, like the horn section, the drummers. They even sung background. So I learned to appreciate the anatomy of an actual band, like a group. Uh,
Right.
the SOS band going into to the 80s, um, the Gat bands, the Commodores, the Supremes. Those groups molded the type of music and the lyrics that I write. So I go by the name Kim Tavar. Just my cousin's last name is Tavares as well, and he's a celebrity stylist, hairstylist. His name is Jason Tavares. So he works on all the like Love and Hip Hop, all those,
Okay.
and he was using the name Jay Tavar, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me use Kim Tavar. And most of the time, people hear Tavares, they were like, oh, you related to Tavares, the group Tavares.
Right.
And that's always the thing. And I'm Cape Verde and I'm from that way. But and this is another thing where now that when you lose, parents or the older people in your lives, the younger generation, some of the kids, I'll call them kids because they're probably 20s or 30s, but they don't even know who their cousins are because when the grandparents or the great grandparents leave, you know, and as a kid, you're not trying to find out, oh, like who am I? Am I related to this person, or how am I related to this person? So for me, I have always been told we may be related, but I don't know that because as a child, I wasn't trying to figure that out.
Right. Right.
On that aspect, I do want to say, you know, moving into this, is I did get to write a song for Chubby Tavares last year, or the year before, on his latest album.
I
Yeah,
didn't know this. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I didn't know this. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So he was releasing his album, and it was a song he sent me. The way that I write songs is I can't sit here and tell you guys, you can't say, okay, Kim, you're going to write a song about, you know, how hot it is today, or about love, or about the color of the sky.
Right.
For me, it just has to come to me. And since my instrument is my voice, I can take it anywhere. I still write as if it's the 60s or the 70s. You know, I like the intros, like the Stylistics or Blue Magic, and you know, Tavares. I like that intro, you know, that first verse and the chorus, and then you go back to the verse, and simple things. I'm sorry if I keep running on, but I'm trying to get
Oh,
it.
no, no, no.
um I told you I'd be an easy guest because I just run my mouth.
You're very easy. But before you go any further,
Yeah.
you talking about writing music and writing songs for Chubby Man. But I want to go backtrack. When did you think you could sing?
Well,
When
this
did
thing, I was a shy kid at around age 5. But I would be, my brothers and sisters were older, so I would listen to the music and I would emulate. I would emulate the artists. I would listen to the radio going up and down the dial. So I would start at one end, whatever song was. I don't care what type of song it was. I would pick something out of it that I liked, whether it was the harmony, the lyrics of what it's talking about, a story.
okay?
And I would go to the next station, and then all the way up and down the dial, emulating those artists, right? So that's how I got the love of all types of music. So in eighth grade, in eighth grade, it was Duxbury Middle School. I tried out for chorus, you know, the choir, and I sung. It was like these are the few of my favorite things, or something from The Sound of Music. These are
Yes.
my favorite things,
Uh huh.
and that's when I was like, okay, I can do this. But for me, and this is what's so strange about me, is my family never really knew until I was in high school, and you know, I started singing more solos. But for me, to sing in front of 1,000 people. I'm
Mm-hmm.
less nervous singing in front of 1,000 people or 60,000 people, which I've done at Gillette Stadium, you know, and then, you know, uh, Fenway Park, and then at the Celtics game. But if there are only 3 or 4 people, or like 6 people hanging around, and they, oh, Kim, sing something. And I'm very humble about it, because I just feel as though um, out of the 5 people, maybe 4 of them won't like you. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
but for me, I think what it is about me is I still think that I don't think I'm the best singer. I have never taken any lessons. I just sing by ear, by ear. Excuse
You
me.
never taken a lesson.
Yeah. No,
You
no, no.
never.
I haven't taken any lessons, which I should. But
No, you don't need to. But
but I think what it is about me is people like the tone of my voice, or like I'm not trying to scream and do, I don't do things that I shouldn't be doing. You know, I do what Kim Tavares can do.
right.
I, you know, I can't do all these vocal acrobats, but that's not for me to do, because it's not what I'm trying to portray. When I sing, I want my voice to be heard and the lyrics to be understood. I don't want a lot of noise around my music. I like it in the production part of it. And when you guys, well, I'll give you where you can listen to my music. But when you ever go to a concert and people come back from the concert and they say, well, that wasn't a good concert. And you're like, well, why? because they don't sound anything like they sound.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Yep.
And I don't want that for me. So again, when I go into the studio, I do it like it was done back in the 70s, 80s, probably even the 90s.
Hmm.
I do my own background. I'm not that great at harmony, but if you give me my note, I can stick to it. So I go into the studio and I do my background vocals first, and I lay that one note down. And then usually the engineer, the producer that I work with, do different ones. Okay, let's try this note, and then I lay all my harmony down myself, and I see how many I can do. How many notes or octaves I could go. And then I lay down, my lead vocals, not the lead vocals, actually, I do the chorus
Hmm.
and vocals, and then I listen through and then I add any ad libs that are in there. But what I think it is I go in there and until I can get that note right, I'm not moving on to anything. I don't want to use the auto tune for
Right,
things.
right,
Like it's
right.
good to use it in some things, especially when you want the music to sound a certain way. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, if there's certain notes, like sometimes you may use it, but you don't want to use it for your whole phrase. So when I sing, a cappella, or I sing to someone, it's going to be as close as when you listen to my music, because I don't want you coming to watch and then leave and you're upset and I'm not giving you the show that you heard,
That's awesome.
on the music.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's that you feel that way about your audience. That's great. That's
Mhm.
great. So now let's fast forward again. We found out, well, when you found out that you had the talent to be so vocally great, I guess you can call it. So
Thank you.
what the next step? What was the next step?
Also, the next step was, I would sing in talent shows, in Boston, background for different groups. Back then, it was like the Finest Hour, Classic Example. Those were all under, Maurice Starr. That
Yes, of course.
um, I was always involved in something. But another thing with me is being raised in a, uh, old school Cape Verdean household, and my father was strict, and my mom, she was home. I didn't know how it was not to have, you know, somebody home. Like my mother was home, the family was, my father took care of us. So I've learned value, or you don't you cherish who you are, you value who you are. You're not going to venture off into anything. I'm never going to lose my integrity for anything. And uh, and at times people will test you, and you have to be able to look at the bigger picture. You can't look at, okay, look at that group and they're doing so well and they're on TV and they're on MTV, or they're on like whatever it was back then, BET, all the
Right.
radio shows, Bandstand, all those. You can't go after what is meant for someone else at that time, and unless it's meant for you. Like my time is now, and success for me is what I've been doing. My success isn't based on what other people think I'm successful at. I've Once I got out of high school, I did the talent shows. In the early 90s, I joined a couple top 40 bands in New England. I was booked every weekend. We did weddings. That's where the money came in. I was a single mom. I worked a full-time job, secretarial job. Um, I and on the weekends, I would sing in the band, and we
Hmm.
traveled we went to Nova Scotia. We were all over Maine. We were, because we were a 7-piece band. And in Boston at that time, you didn't have many places that had, big bands. You would have like a piano player or a guitar player and a singer. So I did the band thing 90s till around 2001. And I was singing other people's songs. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Like in 8th grade, 9th grade, I was writing like poetry. I loved poetry. I loved Shakespeare. I loved, those type of things. And what is a song but pretty much a poem, right? Some soliloquy or something. Um, but at that point, I was like, but now this is like 2000, 2001, and we're not in the stage of where we are right now with technology, right?
Right.
Back
Mhm.
we got out of the 8 track and the cassette days, right? We might have just been going into CDs,
Mhm.
um, discs, and nobody had the computers where you can just say, I'm going to write a song and I'm going to distribute it and people are going to hear it. You really had to have a record deal at that time, right? You had to be in New York or, you know, connected in some type of way. And it depends on what kind of deal you got. As we're hearing now, a lot of those deals weren't as great. And it's catching up to people now that they're learning about royalties and, signing these horrible contracts. So I thank God that I am where I am today. And after that, in 2001, I joined the police department, the Boston Police Department. So I've been a police officer for 23 years now. And even into becoming a police officer, it's not what I wanted to do. It's like, I can do this. I was raised by great parents. I know how to treat people fairly. I raised my children. I was already an adult, so I wasn't a young, impressionable, like 18 or 19-year-old. I knew who I was as a person. I knew who I was as a woman. And going into the job, I was who I was going to be now for the rest of my life. I could only make it better. And I didn't give up the music at that point. Um, I remained in the band during the police academy. As long as my academics, I was passing my exams. I was, you know, doing all the physical activity that everyone else in the class was doing, which was, I think, 50 men and 4 women. And I did that until we found a replacement in my band. And during that time, the academy staff and the rest of the department asked me to sing at my academy graduation, which was the national anthem and God Bless America. And since then, I've been representing the department, singing those songs and other patriotic songs and other events as well. So I never gave up that music because music it's universal. It changes things. I do believe. Um, yeah, so I never gave it up, and at this point, it's like it's with me. It's my voice. It's successful to me because I was able to work in the band, take care of my children. I was paid every weekend from those gigs, paid very well at um, the weddings, and the weddings are the best things to do. It's a great time for people. And yeah, I, it's made me who I am. Music to me is it you remember things when you listen to certain songs, no matter how old they are, how new they are. You can always say, oh my gosh, I remember that. I might have been like 7. I remember when this song came out. Or you remember a moment that may have not been so happy. You may have been sad. You can remember songs like maybe if somebody passed away and that was Ma's favorite song, and that was your brother's favorite song, or your best friend's favorite song. So that makes me Kim Tavares. I can never change that. um, no matter how successful I am in somebody else's eyes. So I'm sorry, I'm running on and running on. I need to have my own show so I can just keep talking, don't you think? But yeah. I love what I do, and I don't know. You still there? Did I leave you? Hey. Does anyone have any questions or anything for me that I can answer as to where I am right now in my life? I'm gonna keep talking because it's like being on the radio. You don't want like dead air. So this shirt it was actually my son's, but it's green. I think Jeff Green, number 8, because the last time they won the championship, NBA championship was 2008, and I did work that parade. It's crazy. So today was the parade for their 2024 championship, Boston Celtics. Yay!
All right. Hello, Kimberly. My name is Key, and I am Conn Man's producer. So he's having some issues, but I'm gonna hold it down for him a little bit. So I see you a Celtics fan. How you feeling about
Oh,
their championship win?
am I still in there? Because I was just talking as if whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we still live. We still live.
Okay, good. Okay. Um. So what else was I talking? I was talking about so many things. So what brings me and what brings me now is after now the technology where you can you can you don't need that record deal as we see so many people on TikTok or YouTube. You don't know them from a hole in the wall. And next thing you know, they have a hit on the radio, which is fine and dandy. So it's not about going that traditional route with you got to sign over here and you better watch what you're signing because now everything is at our fingertips. We have the knowledge just on our fingertips. If you want to know something, you can pretty much look it up. Um, so for me, I write all my own songs. I do use different producers, and I work with, for the most part, I'll work with a producer who may have some instrumentals, and I'll tell them that the music that I like. So one of my favorites of all time is Babyface. Love Kenneth Edmonds, and also James Taylor. Fire and Rain, James Taylor. Not Cool in the Gang, although I like Cool in the Gang, James Taylor, but James Taylor, How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You. Um, so on that lines, I love the SOS Band. Anything that Babyface has touched. I love ballads. Luther Vandross, one of my favorites as well. We go to Tina Marie, Diana Ross. So I'll listen to music. I'll have producers send me music, and as soon as I hear something that sounds like maybe something like by the Stylistics or the Dramatics, it'll start telling me what it needs to say, and that's how I write my songs. I released my second album last year. My first album was 2021, and that's called My Story. And the second album was called The Next Stage. And you can find that everywhere in all your music streaming platforms under Kim Tavar. For the older people like me who don't have like Spotify or iTunes, you can go right to YouTube, put in Kim Tavar topic, and topic is usually what they give like independent artists, and it gives you all their music. So if you go to YouTube, listen, put in Kim Tavar, Tavar topic, you can listen to all my songs. I wrote every song that you'll hear, 20 something songs except for one, which is called Last Night, and that's my only cover song that I did on that album.
So out of your songs out that album, what's your favorite one?
You know what? I have to say, oh my God, it's so crazy because each song means something special to me, because I take a lot when it comes into to writing. I always want it to be a complete story. Like when you listen to my songs, you're gonna understand what I'm saying. You're going to piece everything together. So the first song that I wrote was a single, but I put it on the album, was called Isaiah. And when I wrote Isaiah, and this is a song that uh, broke me in the UK. So my songs are really big out in the UK, and I've been out there a few times to perform. And once that song took off, it just put a fire under me to continue to write. And that's when I wrote the album My Story in March of 2021. So with Isaiah, if you listen to it, you guys can go to YouTube if you want to listen to it. And when you listen to the song, Isaiah is not referenced. The name Isaiah is not about like somebody, oh, it must be talking about her boyfriend or something. The name Isaiah is not referenced in there. So the producer I used for that, his name is Tony Lopes. He's from a producer in Boston. And he has a bunch of instrumentals. He sent it to me. But again, I'm so used to writing the the verse, the hook or the chorus like that. But he sent me a loop because he does a lot of DJing. So he sent me this one loop, and I was like, man, I can't get past this. But I couldn't let it like stop me. So I kept listening. I kept listening. I said, what I need to do with this loop that I have here is this needs to be my hook, my chorus up here. So I sat there and I still use a composition book, pen, pencil, whatever, and I write. And I kept thinking, Kim, what goes on in life? What do people, you have to. I'm older now that most of the stuff I've been through, I know everyone else can probably relate to. So you think about times in your life when you felt like, the world was against you, or people are talking about you, and they're, dragging you through the mud, dragging your name through the mud, telling lies, whatever it may be. But you come through, no matter how low you may get, you always know there's hope and there's something that brings you out of it. So with writing it, I started saying, what is this talking about? Like when you go through what? Fire, when you get burned, when someone, tears you down. So what I did, I went to good old Google and I was like, Kim, what are you trying to say? Because it was something that was getting me to try to say something here. So I Google said being burned, or being like feels like you're drowning. And it came up to the Bible verse in Isaiah. In the Bible, Isaiah 43:2 it was. And it's on the lines of, it says, when you walk through fire, you will not be burned. When you walk through rivers, when you walk through rivers, you will not be drowned or taken away, or or when you go through fire, you will not be burned. And that's how I start out the song. And then I came in with just when you think that no one cares, he's there for all of your lifetime. And that was the chorus of it. Just when you think that no one cares, he's there for all your lifetime. We're blessed to lay down, sleep, and wake again. He's there. And that's the song Isaiah. One of my favorites. And take a listen to that. It's a great message in there. When you go through rivers, they will not sweep over you. I can't even remember my own song. But yeah.
And I'm gonna definitely check that out because that sounds very interesting, especially with the message,
Oh,
especially that Bible verse. But I know Michael was having issues getting back on,
okay.
um, but I didn't want to leave the show hanging, so he may have to
So
reschedule
I can only
you
go till,
another time.
yeah, I can only go till 6:30 anyway. So
Okay.
you use whatever you have there. You can
Yep.
take whatever you have there, and then I promise to reschedule like another time.
No, no problem. It'll be edited and everything, and he'll share it all out. So, but
Yeah,
he appreciates you. He rescheduled. I'm definitely going to check you out on YouTube. That song. So
most.
we definitely appreciate you. But before you go, where can everybody find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, Kim Tavar Official, KIMTAVAR Official. On YouTube, Kim Tavar Official. Facebook, there's a Kim Tavar page and a Kim Tavares page. And YouTube, Kim for Kim Tavar, the music, the singer is Kim Tavar. But you can Google Kim Tavares, police officer. You see, where, I sung at. Gillette Stadium, the Patriots game, the Celtics game, the national anthem. You'll find all that. But as far as Kim Tavar, um, you'll see all of me on there. If you want to email me for anything, it's kimtavarmusic@gmail.com. That's kimtavarmusic@gmail.com. And yeah, I appreciate it. Music is love, and that's what I'm here for. So I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Most definitely, and congratulations to your Celtics there winning the chip.
Yeah,
Not a Celtics fan. I'm actually your rival, but it's okay. um,
that's all right.
but
I was bandwagon anyway.
all right, but no, appreciate you. Definitely, we'll get back in touch with you. For for rescheduling.
Okay, no problem at all. It was fun.
All
Thank
right. Well, thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.